Oh, man.
He died with his eyes wide open. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. I don't even know if I got something for this. Let's see what we got.
What you got?
I just did that.
Yeah.
I knew you couldn't hang on them last ones, man.
Did you hear me humming along?
Yeah, he was
with
like,
you?
yeah.
We'll see if it captures.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that in. We're gonna edit that in.
Oh, shit, man.
Here we go, man.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Back for another one.
Back again.
Part 3.
Like we never left. Like we never left.
Oh, man. We ain't leaving. We're here to stay. You guys are stuck with us now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
Shit.
much.
Where do you want to start, man? How your day's going? No? You just want to dive right in?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Jeez.
Take a sip first, you know? It's most important. Hydrate out there. Everybody hydrate. Make sure you hydrate. Especially if you're in AZ, man.
Don't hydrate with this.
Man, it's freaking hot out here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And fires out here and
It's 100 in hell.
right.
I want to start with this, man.
Yep.
Shout out, man.
Oh yeah. There you
Shout
go.
out about my
AMG.
grind, man. Shout out to AMG, the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a couple of t-shirts from them. I will be purchasing more, man. The fit is incredible.
Yeah.
And comfortable and dope concept, obviously. So this is one of two that I will be rocking. And
I
I'll
can't wait
definitely
till you
get
rock
some more.
the next one.
The
Man.
next one is
I
fire.
wanted to leave it surprise for everybody.
I didn't want to bring it out. Yeah.
So if you watch the video, you'll see. But if not, we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Yeah,
but,
man. Shout out to AMG, the brand.
And the reason why I'm excited to see you wear the second one. I'll keep it locked in here.
Okay. All right.
I got to keep some secret.
God damn, man.
Not a lot of secrets between
shout
you
out,
and I.
Shout out again, man. Shout out to Purple Girls Popcorn. Phenomenal.
I haven't tried it yet, but
Well, yeah, you're going to have to get some after the
Shoot,
podcast.
you know,
It's sitting on the counter.
oh,
so
I know. You're like, hey, you got to try that. And
I know. Then we start chopping it up.
We
Yeah.
got talking and,
Yeah, you know how we do.
you know, the 4-hour pre-show. We should probably record.
We should, yeah. We literally have a
We did
4-hour pre-show before we do the
We
show.
talked
It's not
about
even.
it, yeah.
It's not even a joke.
And then we had like a nice little, jam session going on.
Yeah.
here
Then
before-
we got to throw some music on.
Get hyped up, you know, for
Yeah,
the show.
man. Yeah, man.
But yeah, that song, man. By the way, is
Yeah. Shout out to Devin the Dude.
And
It's called What a Job This Is.
And Devin the Dude, and then Snoop, and then Andre 3 Stacks. I mean,
Andre
come
3
on,
Stacks.
man, come on, hands down.
Yeah.
My favorite rapper, man, of all time.
See, we do it for that boy that graduated.
I feel like we just need to play it for everybody, right?
Tough and said, appreciate it.
Go download that though. Seriously, go
Man,
check it
fire.
out. YouTube, Spotify,
And that he wouldn't have
wherever,
made
man.
it if
Go
it
get
wasn't for your CD number 9 and he's standing with his baby mama Kiki and she crying, talking about the man.
He's amazing, dude. He really is. Like, just
so let's not like do the like.
We can talk about it.
We need an album from 3 Stacks.
Yeah, we were talking about this. So your question to me was,
has he become so much of a legend that he almost can't drop an album? Like, has his legend grown so much from him not dropping music?
And it has. I agree. I think it has. 100 has.
100.
But I think if he got in his bag and which I don't know him personally, but I think if he were to drop an album, I think he would do it right. I don't think he would put out something like, oh, I just want to do this again, and I think it would be so fire, dude. It got me so hyped. Do you remember the Coachella? When was that, man? Like 3 years ago, where the Outkast basically kind of got back together, even though they're brothers, they hang out all the time and stuff. But I was like, it's gonna be another Outkast album. Right. I can't wait. And they were like, nah, we just wanted to get out and share the music with everybody again, And I was like, no, a new album.
Right.
I was screaming I wanted a new album.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Dude, there's just I can't explain. It's music, right?
Yeah.
Like we always talk about, very subjective, but I mean, just hands down for me, best hip hop duo group to ever play the game, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you.
There's. I mean, we could have a conversation.
Yeah.
Method Man, Redman, duo.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
Even if somebody wanted to bring in Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you have no argument there. But
I'm just saying,
personally, like, Outkast is
every album they ever dropped to me was
incredible,
fire,
incredible,
just so good,
classics.
Yeah, and so I think if you were, I see the concern. Like, you'd be like, I don't know if you should, man. Like, you've been out of the game for, but he does do features very seldomly, but we'll hop on, and then come on, man. When he hops on something, you're like you said, wait, where's his verse at? 2, 3, where is it at? Where's it at?
Where's he at?
Because I want to hear that.
Right.
And not to take away from whoever he's,
But it's 3 Stacks, bro.
It's, God, 3 Stacks is so good.
You know what? 3 Stacks almost has, man, I don't want to say this, but I have to. Has the Lauryn Hill feel, right? Like, Lauryn Hill has only dropped one album, right? Mm-hmm. And then obviously she has music with the Fugees, and she's had, music, songs with other people, features and all that.
Which she's still featuring today. There was an album I saw when I was looking through new music. She was featured on something.
But like, Lauryn Hill is like literally like considered amongst the greats when it comes to female hip hop and R&B. Mm-hmm. And some people would put her amongst the greats in general in hip hop and R&B. You know what I mean? So 3 Stacks is like, even though Outkast has dropped enough product, you know what I'm saying?
Enough projects and
you know what I mean? Stuff for people to consume. Like, 3 Stacks is just on a different level every time he does his thing. So people are like, yo, this dude is one of the greatest. And he really hasn't dropped that many
I feel like we're
solo albums.
Yeah, and I feel like we're approaching 20 years since they dropped something. We're getting close. We're getting really close. Because it's early 2000s, the Love Below and Speaker Box was dropped. So, God, I would love it, man. But, he doesn't have to, though. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
he doesn't.
Really, like, I would love it, and I think a mass majority of people would love it. But to be honest, man, to kind of agree with your point, they have enough material that, like, I was just man, like, Stacks. Stuff comes on, and I'm like, man, I need to get back into
like
listening.
Stacks. We need that. But, we need that, Stacks.
So, yeah, man, it would be really dope to see.
Yeah.
And it'd be really interesting to hear a solo project, because really the Love Below is a solo project.
It is.
You know, even though it was under the Outcast umbrella.
Yeah, but they're two solo projects.
They were two solo projects by Big Boy and
Right.
3 Stacks. So,
Right.
you know. Anyways, yeah, man.
And we need a Kendrick album soon.
Man. So, since we're on this music, Kendrick, man, I'm so nervous for this Kendrick project, man.
Yeah, we
like,
talked about it.
and
Go ahead.
I don't know, man.
I'm less nervous.
You are? Okay, tell me why. What changed?
I've been seeing a lot of things out there
Okay.
from and you know I'm tapped in, you know, Cali, LA shit, right? And so I've been seeing a lot of things out there from people who know behind the scenes that like, yo, something is coming.
Okay.
And
All
they
right.
and, and they've hinted to the fact that like, yo, this may be the one.
I hope so. I mean, 2020 to unpack anyways, but music wise has been
Well, yeah.
I mean, just from the jump, I know we, you know, quarantine to begin with, you know, put everybody in place and not
Right.
really going out to a studio to record. Now,
Right.
I know it's easy to record at home now and stuff like
Of
that,
course.
but I don't know, man. It's been a really, I thought 2020, even with the quarantine stuff, still would be a good year, because people have been working on projects from 2019 that would be
Right.
dropping in 2020. Because I
Right.
know you and I've had conversations like, man, 2020's got to hit.
Yo,
And it
gonna be
hasn't
crazy.
hit at
It
all,
hasn't.
man. Like,
It
now,
hasn't.
I'm not saying there's not good music out in 2020, but it's been a little bit, I don't know. It's been, there's been a project
yeah, but
here
you
and
know,
there.
we also talked about, you know, sometimes you got to get back in your bag because you may have recorded something that was a little bit, and I wouldn't say outdated, but not with the times, right? And so maybe, but I also told you maybe he had already recorded enough material for the times, like maybe he, you know what I mean? Because he's always been ahead of the curve as far as talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty much after Good Kid, Mad City, you know, he went at him, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly. Damn, like he was talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So from what I understand, it's not definite. It's probable, definitely possible that he's going to drop this year. And from what I understand, it's the material is.
Well, I can't wait.
Second
I
to
really
none.
can't wait to hear what, you
Oh,
know.
you know me.
But I still
We
am
might
a
have
little
to
nervous, man.
bring back a review just for
Right.
that. You know what I'm
Maybe,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
By the way, speaking of Wale dropped a new
yeah,
EP.
shout out to Wale, man.
It's an EP. It's not full, but it's a cool little project, man.
Yo, Wale and something that we didn't talk about earlier, but based off Wale's last album, you know, full length album, he's created a fan in me. Like I've really paid attention to his music a lot more, and
especially since his last album.
album, and I feel like this EP,
I'm with
like,
you, man. That last album was phenomenal,
was
and then
one
going into this,
yeah, it was, yeah. And so like he's another one that I'm looking forward to, like him dropping, because I know he's a thinker, man. Like he's in his bag when it comes to breaking down his, you know, how he thinks and feels, really how he feels about certain situations. Like I feel like this was a precursor to whatever he's going to bring out in the future, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we're still about a year away though from his
For
next
sure.
full length project.
Or
but
I mean, even end of the year.
maybe end of the year.
End of the
Yeah,
year. I can see him
it's
doing
possible.
end of the year.
Yeah.
It all depends on how all this shit plays out.
Right, of course. Yeah. Last album, and I swear I'm not just saying this because they're friends of ours. I really am looking forward to True's and Dizzle's album, dude.
Yo, shout out to True and Dizzle, man.
I can't wait. You guys, you have no idea. I can't wait to listen to their album. It's coming out in July.
Yeah.
we'll obviously
we're
support
doing a
them
whole,
and
yeah.
and all that stuff. But since we were talking about music, I really am looking forward to this project of theirs.
Shout out to True Goodry. Shout out to Jay Dizzle, man. Instagram, True, TruGuidry, True Goodry. And Jay Dizzle's Instagram is Track Vault, literally spelled how it's said, but I'll spell it out for you. TrackVault. Shout out to them. They've got 2 fire singers.
Right.
Singles. 2 fire singles that they just dropped. Gangsta Love.
But the hype on that, like
The Gangsta
I
Love
love
got,
what they're doing,
That
man.
Gangsta Love is one of those. It's one of those ones.
It is. But the singles are so good, it's getting me so hyped.
Oh man,
for
I can't wait.
I just can't wait for this album, man.
Yeah,
like
shout out to the squad, man.
They're doing their thing. So
Shout out to
we'll talk
Woodman.
about-
Shout out to Woodman too, man. I know Woodman dropping this. I think he's dropping this year. Shout out to Woodman the Star. Yeah, man. So many projects, man.
Right.
But shout out to True and Dizzle, man. They got something crazy coming.
Yeah. I can't wait. And you guys will hear more later on once they drop it. We're definitely gonna promote the hell out of that for them, and
Of course.
All that good stuff.
And not because of their squad, but because it's fire. It's dope music.
Right. Yep. All right, man. All right, something on my mind.
Let's talk about it.
And what's on my mind is leadership, man. I know we've talked about it now for the past couple days, but I need to share it with everybody how annoyed, frustrated I am with the lack of leadership. So I don't really want to get into too much politics as much as possible.
You gotta unpack the way you have to.
But I will say this, okay? So I've been dealing with stuff at work, which I'll leave out. But in this state of Arizona that we live in, we have a governor that it's so frustrating to me. Because we're having huge outbreaks here of COVID-19. Huge. We're hitting
Scary outbreaks.
3,000, I think, was yesterday. I didn't even check today.
I ain't even trying to go outside.
Right. I didn't even check today. I don't even know what today is. The day before that was like 2,500.
There was I think it was 3,000 yesterday.
Yeah, it was over 3 yesterday, and the day before that,
was
which
like
was Thursday.
Now, mind you, these numbers are 2 weeks out.
And understand. Okay, so hold up.
So with everything that's been going on, but I want to point to that because these numbers are really 2 weeks out, right? Because we're not even talking protests numbers, what those look like.
Right. We're talking Memorial Day, basically.
Right. And not that I'm not upset with the protest. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we don't even know where those numbers are going to go based on the events of the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Right.
So I want to bring this all around here. But so anyways, they held a press conference. He does with whatever. And it's just, I can't stand this wishy-washy bullshit. I just can't, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, I really highly suggest you wear a mask, but you do whatever you want. And then I'll leave it up to the mayors of each city around in Arizona to figure out what you want to do, what they want to do.
Right.
And it's like, I'd rather him say, I think masks are bullshit. I don't agree with them. And I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
I'd rather, even I don't agree with that, I would rather him just say straight up, hey, I think they're bullshit. Fine. They're bullshit. Like, pick a side, man.
Pick a fucking side, man.
Like,
stand for something or stand for nothing.
Right.
Right.
So and so I also feel the same way about the movement as well. I feel the lack of leadership that's going on. What's happening is we're being pulled in weird different directions we're getting pulled away from the main issue here. And we need a leader. We need. I'm not bringing up the
leaders.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not bringing up the president leader. It's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
no,
We
no,
need
no,
a
no, no.
leader. Because what does a real leader do? It listens to the people, but it makes a stand. You
Right.
don't have to agree necessarily with everything that leader does. You typically won't, anyways.
Right.
That's not the point. A real leader will make his stance, but also listen to the people
Right.
of what's going on around, and it's
Right.
I don't know if you want to add to that or not, but
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of bring that around.
I want
It's
to
just
let
super
I want to
frustrating.
let you go until
It's just frustrating, you man. Like I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, and so you and I have had multiple conversations about this over the last couple of days. And I 100% agree with you. Now, part of the history of that is that the leaders have a lot of times, especially when it comes to, equal rights for Black people, the leaders have literally been kicked out of the country or murdered, right?
Right.
And so, one of the things that we talked about was like, we paint this picture of Martin Luther King as, the country has now painted this picture. Oh, he was a great man and we loved him. And, he did things the right way. Well, guess what? He was assassinated. So these people who are saying those same things, people who weren't privy or ignored things in the past, right?
Right.
Were also okay and sometimes against what he was talking about and the way he was protesting and the way that he was fighting for civil rights, right? And so what they literally abolished the leaders in not only the Black community, but in anybody who's not white, like in the colored community, right? So it's almost made this free for all for everybody to have an opinion and then I'm specifically talking about when it comes to Blacks in America and their rights. I'm not talking about anything else. There's always been other agendas tied into Black rights, right? So we want to tie this in and we want to tie gay rights in and we want to tie, women's rights in. And those things are equally as important.
Right. And you can't stress that enough. Like I'm with you. They're equally as important.
No PR. Like I'm not even fuck that shit. Like they're equally as important.
Right. Of course.
Right now we have to focus on this.
Right now.
Right now.
Yes.
We have to focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's time to ride for everything else, now I would feel the same way, okay, if we're fighting for gay rights and then we're trying to attach another agenda to that.
Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like that's not the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're fighting for gay rights. Right now we're fighting for women's rights, equality, like for their rights.
Right.
We're not bringing up Black rights. We're bringing up women's rights, right? So what I'm saying is right now we have to specifically devote our time and energy to Black rights, because honestly, once we take care of most of that, and I say most because you can't take care of all of it because there's years and years of just layers and layers and layers.
Mm-hmm.
But once we take care of most of that, then that energy can even more so than before be exerted to women's rights and gay rights and other people's rights and equal rights in the country.
Right. Yes. And to reassure or to reaffirm that the time, like we talked about on our previous podcast here, is the time is now. Like, we can't get distracted we just can't get distracted yet. And it's frustrating, the distraction that I am seeing across the board. And we're playing
a dangerous game.
Very scary game, in my opinion.
Yes.
We're just skating on very thin ice. And
so
but I don't have a solution except for, in my eyes, is
so I do.
A leader. That's why
I do, because you and I talked about it.
Okay.
And before I get into that point, I want to go back to what we were talking about, because I hate this, because I always, as a black man, you always like, and especially me personally, and you know me, I fight for what's right, and I never want to say you don't matter because I matter. Like, that's not, like, I hope that's not how I'm coming across. And it's just, man, it's a lot of shit we got to fix with this, man.
Right.
This is a very personal relationship that needs to be fixed, man. There's a lot of healing that has to start now. And so I don't know how else to say it. Okay.
Right.
I'm not taking away and I promise that I will be on the front lines of every other movement. I promise. You and I just so people know, you and I did a whole episode, okay, about black women, right, in history.
Right.
One of our least viewed episodes.
Right. It is.
So just so y'all know, I'm standing up for everybody.
Right.
Right. So back to the leadership thing. One thing I saw that really was dope, because I was watching the 13th Amendment the other day on Netflix, and great documentary. I advise everybody to go out there and watch it. It's really eye-opening, especially if you don't know anything about it. But Angela Davis was on the documentary. And I thought, okay, well, here we are. We have a living legend. Now, the documentary was done 4 years ago, but it's funny that 4 years ago is more probably more prominent now and more important now than it was 4 years ago. But here we are. We have a living civil rights legend, somebody who literally fought in court, had to leave the country, right, because of threats and things that happened. And I'm like, but she's still here. She's still, like, I want to hear from Angela Davis, right?
Right.
She pops up in Oakland at a protest. And I go, yes, thank you. We need some of the old guard.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we need new guard as well. And what I want to hear, and if I don't hear, I'm not going to judge, but I think there's somebody out there, and one particular person, who doesn't need to say much, but just needs, I don't even think he needs to say something, but his words would ring like the tallest, biggest bell that you've ever heard. And that's Colin Kaepernick.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because yeah, because
so he has done a very intelligent thing, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna let my actions do the talking." Right? He's come and said certain things, and obviously he had the tryout that wasn't a real tryout, and now they're saying, "Oh, we got to let Cat back in the league," and right, and basically they're gonna do everything they can now, 3 years later, 4 years later to get him back in the league when they should have done it the first time.
Right.
but he's been very calculated in the sense that he really hasn't said much. He's like, I'm just gonna go out there and just do work. And I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to let your actions do the talking. But he's a leader that can come out and say, like, mic drop. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. Like, people are finally starting to stand with him and understand what he was doing.
I would love that, man. Yeah.
Because you have like a LeBron James who's very vocal, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest star in the NBA who's very vocal. And you love that, right? Very Muhammad Ali-ish. As far as just being vocal and saying these things and bringing attention to certain things. And you have others, right? You have superstars that are bringing attention. But when you look at a LeBron James, who's the superstar of the league, and he's saying something, right? You need that. But you also need somebody who's not really saying much to come out and just say a little bit. And I feel like Colin Kaepernick, and especially if you understand his story, right? Like, if you understand who he is, he's a mixed man,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Mixed race man.
Right.
Like, he's not full black. And for me, that hits home. It's like, if there's anybody who's seen both sides of it, he's seen both sides of it, right? Mm-hmm. And so what he can speak to and what he's done, right? And what he can speak to would be tremendous in keeping the conversation going.
Right. I'd be
like, he's he's the guy. Like, I really thought about this after the conversation we had. Like, where are the leaders? Like, where? And there's a lot, right? There's a lot of people out there that are known and have been saying these things, but there's some people that just have that impact, right?
Of course. There are natural born leaders.
The impact of what they say and do can literally move a nation. And Colin, right now, especially because the spotlight is on him, in a sense, because of the NFL, what he's done, right? Like, how he basically stood up, or took a knee, right? Physically. He could just literally just mic drop.
Right. Yeah.
And keep this thing going in a way that, like, I don't think many people can do.
Honestly, man, I never really even thought about him, I guess in that sense, until you actually just brought it up now. But I would love to see that, man. I really, and I also will say this: it just doesn't have to be one. It can be
it's never been
right. And I wanted to make myself clear, like, it doesn't need to be just one. It could be multiples,
right?
And in different areas, and so we are in definite need of great leadership.
Yes.
For the movement, for this country, for all, we are so lacking, in my opinion, in leadership, and it's really frustrating.
It is.
And I'm kind of gonna shift here just a bit, and about what you said about Kaepernick and let his actions speak, and I really learned that because we were having conversations. What can we do? What can we do? Right. Now we have this platform that we can, talk about things and stuff like that. That's one thing. And the other thing is, let's support Black owned businesses.
Man.
And I am so happy to do that. Yeah. And I know you go listen to the last podcast and the coffee and the purple girl, and just what that's
it's not even just supporting. It's like the product is amazing,
right?
It's
a forever thing. It's a
forever thing. I'm killing Purple Girl's popcorn,
right?
For forever, right? So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, man. Like, we gotta. You know, one thing that we talked about was just doing our small part, right? And so, if you got to find out what your part is, right? And so for us, it's a multitude of things, actually, right? But one of the things is supporting Black-owned businesses, which we have always tried to do, but there's been more of an emphasis on doing it.
Right.
And we've learned, it's like, it's a way that it's one thing that we can do to push the needle and continue to support and change things. But you have to find out you have to find out what you can do, right. What your thing is, right? And again, like, going back to the last episode, you have to find something that you can do that is continuous.
Right.
It's not a one-time donation.
On a continual basis, where something that you're going to use, consume, whatever it is. I also wanted to say about this is because even though, like, I'm getting my coffee now from somewhere in Oakland, I also think it's important, your community that you live in, that is probably going to make the most impact.
Of course.
And obviously I thought about that. I just didn't, but there are going to be some things that you obviously, like, I didn't see, there might be in Arizona here, but in my community, I don't know of a coffee place, that that I could get my own coffee from. Right. Now, saying that, there are other businesses like Purple Girl that are here in a town that we live in to support. And the sense of community.
I might just get up and go get some popcorn right now, man. This shit is delicious.
Just bring it in, man.
Right? Just walk away. Just walk away for like fucking 2 minutes of the podcast and just go smack on some popcorn.
Right. So anyways, even that I think is even more impactful in your community that you're in, wherever you guys are listening. I think that is a great part that you can take in on a continual basis.
So I'm going to piggyback off that, man, because we haven't talked about that. But we're both from Cali, and have spent substantial time in Arizona. So, I always call myself a Calizonian.
Right.
I've lived half and half. I've lived literally half of my time has been in Cali and half in Arizona. But in California, man, like, you see a lot of like local businesses, you know what I'm saying? Like mom and pop shops that have been there for years, you know what I'm saying? And you see it out here, but you got to go to certain areas in Arizona, well, in Phoenix in general, right?
And Arizona is a very new city too.
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, it's a newer city.
So, like, what I would say is that the best way to spread knowledge about a business is word of mouth, right? Like that's the old adage, is that word of mouth can either bring you 10 or take away 20. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you get to a place and you're like, yo, this is fire and this was delicious and we need to drive to the other side of town and have this, because, a lot of places that are talked about in the Phoenix metro area, right, is Scottsdale, East Valley, right? And right now we're shooting from the West Valley. We way in the West, you know what I'm saying? Right. But there's so many places, like, it's not just there. There's so many places like spread throughout Phoenix and, outer Phoenix, Avondale, Glendale, Peoria, you know what I'm saying? Right. And even in whatever city that you're in, there's always businesses that are out there. But if you go to these places, like, spread the word. Like, I just went here last week. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we want to keep stuff to ourselves, like
like it's a
secret recipe.
Yeah, secret. Like
right.
I don't want to tell nobody about
tell
this because
nobody
this
about
is
this.
right. No, you got to tell people about this.
You got to let people know.
Right.
You know
gotta
what I
let
mean?
people know for sure.
If you go to Red Robin, right, and it's a chain restaurant, but you go to the Red Robin on whatever and whatever,
right,
and you're like, look, and you're having a conversation with somebody, right, and they're like, yeah, I don't know about Red Robin. I wasn't really feeling that. You know, I went over. No, you got to go to this location.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Because
now instead of change. Fuck Red Robin, not fuck Red Robin because Red Robin's good. But hey, but go over here because man, where do you live? Oh man, you got a burger spot that's by you, man. That's flames, and go there because you do it with you'll do it with any other restaurant. Mexican restaurant, you'll be like, yo, the hole in the wall of 67th and whoop de whoop de whoop. That shit is delicious. And literally the owner is back there cooking the meat. You know what I'm saying? So you got to spread the word.
Of course. You got to spread the word. Yes. And I also want to bring in the fold of music, man.
Facts, man.
You know, there's a lot of, and I know we talked about True and Dizzle, you know, they're local artists here, and I'm very proud to support them. But man, search out your community, man. Find the music that's that you can. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your community, but maybe in the area that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like
in the metro area, yeah.
Yeah, like who's dropping albums? Try to keep a, you know, I'm not here, you know.
And obviously things are crazy right now, so you can't go see a show and all that type of shit.
But you can still support these artists that are still dropping music. It's another way to support, you know.
Yeah.
It's just another way to do it. You know,
there's so many.
So many. There's just so many ways that you could do.
There's so many ways.
And it really is important to, I think, community-based first, you know, and then kind of reach out, you know, out and around and support stuff that's out in California or on the East Coast somewhere.
Arkansas, like I don't care where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because there might be something bomb that you can use on a
Kansas, like Missouri, like it don't matter,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like there's always,
and that is definitely something everybody out there can do.
Yeah, and then you know, yeah, man, support. So like, just support.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've been lucky that. You know, not lucky, but it's been dope that we've been able to find, you know, things that really match what we're doing and go along with our lifestyles, you know what I'm saying? And that, like, not only are dope, like, tremendous products, but they match our everyday. I mean, Dan, when you was trying to get, like, 10 bags of popcorn today from Purple Girls. But shout out, we was gonna have a whole thing. But shout out to Purple Girls because you know what they said? We taking Father's Day off.
Yep.
And shout out to them.
Yeah. Cool, man. Like
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Very nice, very sweet over the phone.
I'll go get a couple bags. I'm telling you, that cherry blossom something different. And that triple threat.
Oh man.
Ask my daughter about that triple threat. She know what it is. She been killing this shit. Every time I talk to her, she over there like sunflower seeds, just, Dad. Oh, I need to clean my room. Let me finish this triple threat real quick. Oh, man.
Also, I want to stay on the topic of sense of community real quick. And
for sure.
I praise you, actually, for this.
Don't do that.
No, I'm serious. Like,
don't do that.
You could be outside. You say hi to your neighbors.
Yeah, you know me.
You know, I think something that is lost today is some compassion for other human beings. Just
that's a fact.
The simple fact of saying, "Hi, how you doing?" Doesn't have to be a conversation. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's just the simple fact of acknowledgement and a little bit of love and compassion for somebody else.
I agree.
And that's another thing that can go a huge and long way of just bringing some compassion to your local, wherever you live, whatever. Everybody's living in the neighborhood. I mean, well, there's some people that live out in the woods, but you ain't listening to this if you are, I guess.
Right. You ain't watching this.
Right.
You ain't watching this.
But I
Maybe
think
you
that's
are.
very important, man.
Yeah, I think if we can all get to a point, man, of just compassion, man, and just and understanding, I think we could definitely move forward. But we can't. Okay, we can't get there until we acknowledge wrongdoing.
Right.
And so one of the things that you and I talked about yesterday was it's very hard for people to move forward when they have not truly admitted they've done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or they have ignored and been complacent in wrongdoing.
Right.
And so you can't begin to help me if you haven't, or you can't begin to help anything. Help yourself, help,
Well,
and really help yourself,
I was
right?
just gonna say, you helping yourself first, and that's not a selfish thing, but that's going through
legit
of actual.
You can't help anybody else until you help yourself.
Exactly.
And so when you acknowledge that wrong has been done, then you can start to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take accountability in that. If you've ever been a part of that wrongdoing,
Mm-hmm.
you have to take accountability in that, right?
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, well, that was terrible, and I wouldn't do anything that terrible, so I'm gonna fight for that, right? But if you did something similar, but on maybe a smaller scale,
Mm-hmm.
you've actually contributed to why it got to this point.
Right.
Right.
Good
and
point.
so if you
Yeah.
can't get to, or if you ignored something,
Mm-hmm.
right? You like legitimately saw something, not my problem, and ignored it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you were part of the problem.
Right.
Right. And if you can't admit, like, man, I saw this back in and I did nothing, and I've always felt guilty about it, or even now I feel guilty about it. You can't begin to press forward and have compassion. You can't get to the point of compassion until you have acknowledgement and accountability.
Right.
In the things that you've done.
Right.
Right.
That's a
and
self-reflecting
the acknowledgement
on
of
yourself.
that these things that have happened. Maybe
Right.
you've done nothing. Maybe in your life you have treated everybody right, but you never you're not wrong in the fact that you haven't pushed for certain things, right? And we're speaking about this issue,
Right.
right? The treatment of black people in America.
Right.
Maybe you haven't pushed towards it, but you've never done anything on the opposite side, right? To be disrespectful. You've never said anything racist. You've never believed in anything racist. Like you've always had compassion in your heart, right? But maybe you haven't really truly acknowledged that these things are going on.
Right.
Right. So you have to have both. You have, if you need to be held accountable, you need to hold yourself accountable, and then you have to, and if not, or you need to acknowledge that these things are real.
Right. And I think that's really good, though, that especially the second part of that of it's basically riding that line, right? Where, yeah, I've done not. It's basically I've done nothing. I've done nothing.
Right.
On both sides, right? Like, yeah, I'm not racist, but I've done nothing.
Right.
You've done nothing. You've done nothing.
You've done nothing. Right.
Start doing something. Start. Show. You got to look inwards, right?
You have to.
And look, man, it is a hard thing to do to look inwards, right? And we could go down a laundry list of things.
That's a whole nother podcast episode.
But it's still, you got to look inwards to yourself. You're right. Before you have that compassion towards somebody else.
Right.
You know, but I just find it really huge, man, to hold the door open for somebody, man. I mean,
like,
gosh, it's so, you know what I'm saying?
That shit is outrageous, bro. Like,
it's just a simple, it's not like,
I know.
you know what I mean?
I get you.
I hope everybody understands what I mean.
Thank you.
The problem is that there's this grandiose idea of, oh, I gotta pull over, I gotta do this and this and this and give hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars before you. No, man, just start with just a little bit of have a good day.
Yo,
Nice,
so like,
nice to see you again.
So like,
Hold the door open.
you go to a restaurant, right? Or you go to a grocery store. You go to somewhere where, you know, food or something, a place of service, and most places are of service.
Right.
But if you're dealing with somebody in the service industry,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether grocery store, restaurant, food industry, retail as far as clothing, right? Like, we're so quick to just get mad at somebody. Like, those simple things of being of really taking that time to be like, oh, you don't have it, or you don't. Now, if somebody's being rude, check them. Like, you got to check them, right?
Right.
Like honestly rude, right? But if you ask a question and the answer is, yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have it. Well, why don't you have? Well, what, dude? They're doing that's the small amount of decency that you can have. Like, if you can do it there, you can do it everywhere else.
Right. It's, well, I mean,
just. There's nobody in this world that is beneath you or above you.
right. Absolutely.
There's nobody.
Nobody. Not one person.
There's not one person standing on earth that is beneath you or above you as far as your stature and who you are in life.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to say elevation, okay, well, shit, across the street, their elevation is lower than mine. So I am above them physically. But there's nobody, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're not better than anybody, and nobody's better than you.
Right.
And so you have to treat people that way. It doesn't matter how they look. You don't treat a female or a gay person or a black person or a Mexican person or an Asian person. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You treat if people would really practice what the fuck they preach as far as loving and having. I love all people, but fuck them niggers over there and fuck the goddamn Asians over there.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, 100%.
Just what you and I have talked about this a lot for years. If you make a conscious decision, right, to be better, then guess what happens? You ultimately become better.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it, man. That's it.
Sorry,
You've got to make the conscious decision of,
you know me.
Just
you know it's
being
real
better.
I'm like,
no, man, it's a real thing, though. You know, just the lack of compassion, and you know, as far as I can tell, we all live under the same sun and the same stars, and
we come into the world the same way.
We
might leave in a different way, but that's based on our fucking.
Yeah, but we all got one home, and it's called planet Earth.
That's it.
That's it, man.
That's it. Until we go to Mars, and then we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
probably the same
we'll
shit.
See.
Probably the same shit. We'll be fucking Mars.
Catch us in 2024 when we talk about Mars.
Right. Martians fucking beating us up.
Oh shoot, man. But yes, please. You know.
No. No. Can you exit the vehicle, please? He was resisting. Oh shit! Still on Mars,
right? Although, man, if there were ever a time for aliens to actually exist, this would be the time, right?
Man, we going down a whole different rabbit hole,
Right?
man.
Well, since you brought up aliens, just thought I'd bring it up real quick.
Well, since we're here, let's stay here for another
But
hour.
anyways, yeah, no, man, compassion, man.
Compassion, conversation.
Yeah. Civil conversation too, like
It does no. It doesn't always have to be civil, and I think.
well, what I mean by that is because you don't have to necessarily agree
Right.
with what the other person is saying.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is don't get like you can't fight fire with fire. I don't think you can, man. I don't think you should.
It depends on how big of the fire.
But you keep throwing flames on the fire, you're not, nothing's happening.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta let sometimes.
I mean, I understand like getting in a heated, right?
Yeah.
A debate about something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm talking. I'm just talking about like when things start becoming hate upon hate upon
Right.
hate upon. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
gotta,
saying?
You got to exit those conversations real quick.
So,
And honestly, if you're having those conversations with somebody, and then it's not worth it.
sometimes it's just not.
It's just not.
Sometimes it's not.
Okay, we got to.
I mean, you
on.
could say what you need to say, but
Yeah,
it's
but they've
almost.
already-
But if it's just
Move on to the next.
angry hate,
You'll
stuff,
be standing in the back of the line by the time this
Right.
is all done. Don't even worry.
Although
about
I do think of Daryl Davis a lot, dude. I think about him ever since I've learned about Daryl Davis, man.
it. Yeah, shut up.
And
Go
talk
back,
about compassion.
Go back and watch that episode, by the way.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a shameless plug here, man. Go watch our Black History Month series that we did.
Yeah, please.
Because
Yo, we was talking some shit,
I mean, Daryl Davis, women, and inventors.
man.
Fantastic.
And we would have had
podcasts.
another episode, except I was out of town.
Right. So, I mean, but anyways, I think about Daryl Davis and the compassion that man shows
Yeah, man.
towards
And
people
the,
that
and the
really hate him.
bravery he had, man.
Of course.
To go to where he went to have these conversations.
So stuff can still be done with people that have,
Yeah.
with the hate that they have.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
things can be turned around.
Agreed. But don't waste too much energy on those people.
Yep.
Do what you can.
Anyways, man.
God damn, dude. How many? I mean, we got a lot more.
There's always going to be
There's
so much, man. At this present moment, man.
Do you believe in the infinite onion?
At this point, yes, I do.
That's where we at.
At this
layer,
point,
layer.
layer.
Don't cry.
This country has a lot of different layers to it, man.
This world does, but yeah, this country does for sure.
In this country right now, it's
We'll
deep
see.
and it goes back from
We'll see.
a long time, man. So,
See, yeah, we didn't even touch on Starbucks and the bullshit that they did and a whole bunch of other
Right.
shit. And Jemima and Uncle Ben's and
Right.
jeez. Well, we'll be back next week. We'll see you motherfucker next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, man. We'll just keep bringing this stuff to you guys, and
Yeah, man.
continuing the conversation.
Real quick shout out again. Shout out to AMG the brand.
Yes,
About My Grind. Shout out to them. Shout out to Purple Girls.
Purple Girls.
Popcorn and more. Purple Girls. Purple GURLS. So girls spelled with a U instead of an I. You can go to their website. It's purplegirls.com. You can also follow them on Instagram. It's Purple Girls with a U instead of I. They've got just amazing, and I'm not even bullshitting, man. The popcorn is just light and delicious. It just, you're like, man, this is tremendous. Shout out to Fetty Bound Entertainment, which is True Goodry. and Jay Dizzle. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to Mr. Andrews. Shout out to Woodman the Star. Shout out to A-Dot. Shout out to Savvy. Shout out to the whole squad. Who am I leaving anybody off?
Red Bay Coffee.
Shout out to Red Bay Coffee.
They're doing some good things in Oakland.
Man.
So
shout out to Jive Juice. Oh, I can't wait to get that in.
Right.
And please leave comments in the Instagram post, on the YouTube page, leave on Facebook. If we friends on Facebook, like, leave comments.
Right.
Let me know. Let me know the fire, businesses that are out there, man.
Of course, yeah. Please let us know if there's something you guys are rocking with, man. I'd love to.
We
hear
ain't gonna lie to y'all either. We'll tell you the truth, man. If it's good, it's good.
Right.
If it's not good, it's not gonna make the show.
Honestly, man, though somebody might say or have a suggestion that we actually might not really use in our day-to-day life, but I don't mind shouting them out, dude.
No,
you know what I'm saying? If it's a
I mean,
but,
just to be honest with you, I ain't using no hair products. Okay, so
oh man, oh man.
But
Oh, last thing.
Yeah,
last thing before we go.
Talk to him.
Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Man. Yeah,
mine, your father.
Yeah.
All the fantastic dads, the friends that we know, family, everybody. But I got to give a special shout out to you, man.
Thank you,
man, I don't want to cry, but dude, you're one of the best dads, dude, I've ever met.
Thank you, man.
You got 3 fantastic kids.
I do.
I love them. I told you this a while ago, and I really do mean this, man.
Yeah.
If something happened to them, I'd be like, hey, sit back, because I need you to be the dad.
You said sit back. I got this one.
I got this one. I'll go take care of it for you, because you need to be the dad. And
sure
Uncle Zeke will take care of it for you. But
man.
I love you, man.
Thank
and
you, man.
Happy Father's Day.
Don't make me cry, man. Don't make me cry, man.
I'll leave it at that, because I keep going, but I don't want to go down this road.
It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird.
It's going to get a little weird, yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, man, for sure. Man, thank you. And, yeah, man, happy Father's Day to my father, to my old pops.
Yeah, your old pops.
Yeah, man. Happy Father's Day to my father-in-law, Chris. Happy Father's Day to my Uncle Mike. Yeah, man, I love y'all. Dad, you know what it is. I love you. Yeah, man, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, man. They don't love us out here, man. So, do not barbecue. Okay? It's your day to chill. It's not your day to cook, okay? So, happy Father's Day.
Yep. Happy Father's Day, everybody. That's it. It's all I got, man, for this episode.
Man.
Love, compassion, kindness, positivity. Stay positive out there, everybody.
And as always, this is the Gray Space.